There doesn't seem to be anyone else there. What is the word on the street? Please don't tell me it's only Jack. Although, Jack, you're enough for me, mate. So I'm just going to log onto my laptop now. I should have done it before. I've been running all over the place because if I'm on my laptop, I can read the old comments more easily. Who else is there? Can anyone hear me?
We start this hour in the Middle East, where Israel and Iran have attacked.
Hello, hello. Do we have a problem, Houston? I'm in now, so I should be getting the old loud and clear Ray Bentley. Well, there you go. Glad you're here. Now we got 4. Perfect. Fantastic. Because I was starting to worry because I couldn't see anyone there. Now I've got them all loud and clear. So who's with us tonight? Jack Star, Ray Bentley, and Honestly Uninterested. Welcome, Honestly Uninterested. You must be a little bit interested if you keep coming back. And you're very welcome. Very welcome, Wendy. Hello, Jack, mate. How you doing? I have had a very stressful day today. I've been running around, so if I look a bit dishevelled, this is why. So what's been happening, chaps? Tell us all about it. I am alone tonight. Ellen has left me, only for the night, I believe. But you never can tell with women. But so hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties because my IT person is not here. And I have to make my own coffees, which is always hard. So what's the story, Jack? What is the story, Ryan? What is the story, Wendy? Ryan Bentley, you're more stressed than working back in England. No, not that stressed. Not that stressed, no. But I am stressed on a decision front. We went to look at an apartment yesterday and I can't decide whether to move. I am terrible at situations like this. And today I've been trying to make my mind up. There are people trying to gazump us, which is fair enough because I can't make my mind up. But we had a brownout this morning and then I had to take Ellen to get the bus home because she's had to go home and see her family. So I have literally from 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon been going here, been going there, been going here, been going there. But as you say, can't be as bad as working in the UK. I'm going to test an interesting theory tonight. I don't know how YouTube works, but last week we had the most views and interactions than we have had for a long, long time. And I'm starting to wonder if that is because it wasn't scheduled. Because what I did last week, I couldn't log in for some reason. So I had to go live on a different thing and tell people to come over because I couldn't get into the scheduled one. And now I'm back to scheduled again. How many people are there? It's an interesting one, that this bloody guy and his dog again. Evening, folks. Hello, Plastered Finger. How are you? I don't know what this guy's doing over there. I tell you, we had this the other day. I do not like to hear the sound of a distressed dog. So, what I had wanted to do, but I didn't have the chance. And the trouble is, if I had put a video up at the same time as this, it might have damaged the views on the video. But I had hoped to put a vlog up about the apartment that we're looking at because I wanted to be able to decide, or help you lot help me to decide whether it was the right place to move to or not. The hell is he doing? Plastered Finger, good thanks. Just drying out after another thunderstorm. Another thunderstorm? Whereabouts is that? I know you've told me before where you are, but I am terrible at things like this, I'm afraid. Oh, I'm all over the place today, all over the place. Where have I put my... Because I'm stressed, I'm afraid I'm smoking. Well, it's not actually because I'm stressed. It is because I've run out of snooze. One of the most annoying things about the Philippines is they are incapable of keeping things in stock. So there used to be one place where I could get my snooze, you know, the old tobacco to pop up there, one 7-Eleven, and then every 7-Eleven started selling them. And I thought, happy days, this is Christmas. But they run out all the time. But usually I can find a 7-Eleven and get some more. I spent a day driving around 7-Elevens everywhere looking for them. Couldn't find any anywhere. It's been a nightmare. So unfortunately, I'm back on the cigarettes until I can get some. We shouldn't be too long because I've ordered some from Manila, which usually come next day. But lo and behold, this time, 3 days, they still haven't arrived. Alaminos, 100 Islands. There you go. Never been there. Drying out from a thunderstorm. There you go. We've had quite a bit of rain recently, but then I suppose it is rainy season. Jackster, how are you guys? And Simon, what you've been up to? Well, like I say, mate, it's I've been trying to do some vlogs this week. We've been house hunting, which I didn't expect to do because we went to look at that one the other day just because it came up, and I didn't want to look at it. But I'm not particularly in a rush to move. I'm quite happy here. But when we got back last night, or after I put that video up, the day before, a mate of mine messaged me, good friend, and said the apartment below him has become available. So did I want to come look at it? So we went and looked at it, and now I have been in a state of cognitive dissonance because I don't know whether to move there or not. There are parts of it I really like, and there are parts of it I'm not so sure about, and I am quite happy here, but it's going to go very quickly. I told him today I'd make a decision. It's not his place. He doesn't own it. He's been living there for a few years and he knows the landlady very well. So I said I'd let him know today. Messaged him today, said I can't make my mind up. And he said another person is asking about it now. They've had 2 inquiries. So I think I'm going to lose it. But it's one of those things I can't make my mind up, you know what I mean? I'm terrible like that. Ryan Bentley, sleep on your decision about the new apartment for a minimum of 3 nights. See, the trouble is you can't with this place because it goes so quickly. Oh, Jack Star, mate. Listen, Jack, thank you very much. Didn't have to do that. Thank you very much. That has made my day a little bit less stressful. I will buy a beer with that. Thank you, mate. Really didn't need to do it, but fantastic, mate. Thank you very much. Got to get yourself over here soon, mate, and we'll talk about that in a second because I'm going away somewhere. But thanks, Jack. The plaster finger next door, they tie up their pup and house like Billy O. Can see him out the window. I think they get lonely. Yeah, but this guy's hitting him with something. You know, I thought he killed him the other day and I was going to have a right go, tried to climb over the wall. But I heard it again now. I think he just goes out and hits it. It's disgusting. Glenn, greetings all. Hi, Glenn. Glad you could make it, mate. Glad you could make it. Jack Star, hey, Glenn. Jack Star, you're very welcome. So I thought, well, no, well, thank you very much, Jack. I don't know what to say, mate. You embarrassed me with your generosity, but it's very nice. See, I'm still thinking about this dog now, and I'm thinking about this house. But yeah, no, I really appreciate it, mate. But yeah, Jack, listen, when are you coming here? Because Ellen and she has been nagging me about taking her to Thailand. So I am going to take her to Thailand, but it will only be a week, and we're planning on going probably the last week in July. So only a week, but as soon as I said that, I thought that's not going to clash with Jack coming over, is he? You haven't booked anything yet, have you, mate? But in terms of the apartment, it is, as you say, yes, sleep on it, but you see, it's a strange place in the sense that they don't advertise or anything. It's 8 apartments, like 2 bedrooms, and they've got some 1 bedrooms and some studios, I think, next side. It's got a nice pool and that. But I'm good friends with 3 of the people that live there. And when they become available, word of mouth, they just go really quickly. And 2 became available at the same time. And straight away, some of the people from the 1 bedrooms want to move into the 2 bedrooms. So I'm not going to have, I know usually say don't rush into it, don't think about it. Think about it, don't make a rush decision. But I know now I'm going to have to on this one. And that's not sales talk. I say the guys who are telling me that other people are interested in it, they don't have a dog in the fight. They're just my friends. The plastered finger. Sometimes I think they are changing from scrapyard dogs to pets. but they're not sure how us foreigners do it. I don't know what they're doing, mate. I try not to think about it. It disgusts me, to be honest with you. I don't know why people treat animals like that. Why have an animal if you're not going to look after it? I just don't get it. Just don't have an animal. Used to break my heart in Thailand when they were like that in the village. But they weren't as bad as they are in the Philippines with animals. But yeah. See, now, last night I was definitely going to move. Then this morning I was kind of, I don't know. Then by this afternoon I was no. And now listening to that, I think I've got to get away from it. I can't listen to this for much longer. The dog's going to make my mind up for me. Yeah, pal, don't worry. You won't miss me. Ha ha, my daughter's not had a good week. Don't really want to go into details if you get me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I'm sorry to hear that on Two Cats. I'm sorry to hear you're not coming yet. And I'm sorry to hear you're still having problems. There you go. Doesn't sound like it's killing it. Ryan Bentley, what does Ellen think about apartment living? She's being very strange about this one. I didn't think she wanted to move. But then today she says she does. But now I don't know. See, the trouble is, what it is, I'll give you the story. It's a nice apartment. I mean, it's not a nice apartment. It's a nice area. It's a lovely swimming pool. I've got some good friends that live there. But the apartment itself is incredibly dated. And when we got there and I saw the swimming pool, I thought, this is fantastic. When I saw like the facilities they got there, because they got a lovely, and it's a small place. It's not like, one of these big gated communities. It's just 3 buildings of apartments looking onto this pool. Everyone's friendly there. They got a barbecue and that. I thought, this is heaven. But when we opened the doors to go in, God, it was like, it was very old fashioned, very old furniture. Didn't like the inside of the apartment much at all. Much prefer ours. But the location of this place is good. It's more expensive. It's about £100 a month more. I could get Starlink because I could log into my friend's got it. It's closer to town. It ticks a lot of boxes, but I'm just not that keen on the apartment itself. I'm keen on the facilities, and I don't know. I just can't make my mind up. If the apartment was as nice as this, would rip their arms off being there straight away. But it's just like, it's just like dated, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Ellen last night, because her friend's been staying with us. Her friend had a row with her boyfriend, so she's been staying here a couple of days. And I heard them talking, and I didn't think she was keen. And then I said, look, I've got to make a decision. Do you want to move or not? And she's like, well, I don't like the apartment. And I said, well, I know that. She said, but of course I want to move because it's close to town. See, one of the reasons we've been moving is I might have to go back to England at some stage for a period of time, and Ellen can't ride a scooter. So she would be stuck here, and that's no good. That's why we looked at that apartment in town the other day, because I'm conscious of the fact when I do go back, because it will be for a couple of months, I want her to be in town, in the city, so she can get to and fro. But I'm not planning on going until next year. So there's no rush. So I said, look, we'll look at it slowly, gradually. And if we find somewhere, we might do, but there's no rush. But of course, then Alex messaged me that night, and this other place had come up, which kind of put a rush on it. And one of the good things about this place is they'll sign a 6-month lease. So I don't have to be tied in for the year. Because Eleanor's already said, when I do go back, she doesn't want to live there. She wants to get somewhere smaller because she thinks it's too big for her by herself. Glenn, I would move. Why would you move, Glenn? I'd move, or that's what I end up doing. I'd move, or that's what I end up doing. What do you mean? You've lost me, Jack. You'd move, or you'd end up doing something about him, or you'd end up... what do you mean, mate? I'm interested to know why you would move, Glenn. Well, the thing is, tomorrow, I was going to do it tonight, but I didn't want to clash with the live. I will push the video up tomorrow, and you can see the place. And if it's still available, you can give me your opinions. Because that's what I was hoping to do. I was hoping to get it up last night, but I didn't have time. So we could talk about it tonight on the stream. But there you go. I hate smoking. And before anyone says, why are you smoking? It's because I'm addicted to nicotine. But I would much rather use... I'm not enjoying this at all. But I'm used to having a snooze in my mouth. So I think next week's chaps, I might try an unscheduled one. Yeah. I know exactly. It's going to happen at some stage. But the thing is, like, I wipe these kind of things out of my mind. So it's like when it happened the other week, I was livid. But it's not happened since. You know, I've been in the garden quite a lot, never heard anything. So I'd forgotten about it. Now, when you come out and you hear that, you think, there's only so much of this I can take. I haven't got a Bacava, but maybe that's what I need. I'll go around and crash helmet on, I'll do the same thing. Glenn, mainly due to the availability, good people, the dog sits you, the road, the location, etc. Yeah, I hear you, Glenn, I hear you. I do hear you. I just wish the apartment was a bit better. But maybe I'm just being fussy, because my friends, like, you know, they don't care about it. You know, they're happy there. One of the things that would have been a deal breaker is apparently the internet is terrible there, and Ellen needs it for work. But again, if I move in quick, my mate's got Starlink, and I'm not an Elon Musk fan, but I would bite my tongue because you can share it with him. And one of the guys he was sharing it with has just come out of their arrangement, so you can have 3 users apparently. So I could hook into that, and that's like 833 megabytes per second or something like that. Get Ellen to describe what type of accommodation she prefers. And Ma, yeah, and Ma. Well, Ellen prefers modern. She just likes modern. And that's what I don't get about it. If they refurbished it, because the pool and that is lovely, it's a lot, and it's so quiet, and you've got like a little bit of jungle and that there. But there's little things I found out since I was talking to a mate. They don't actually give you an itemized electricity bill and things like that. You know, I don't like places where they just say this is your bill. I like here because you know, you deal direct and you can do the things in that. So I don't know. Yeah, and it'll be strange living in a place because we're so used to living here and being the only expats. You know, it's quite solitary, and I do like going in and out, just meeting my mates. And there's 2 of the guys I really like, but this will be very different because it's like, you know, everyone is, you know, in this small area. So like we're sitting there by the pool, I'm having a couple of beers with Alex, and everyone's coming over, hello, how are you, and that feels a bit like a holiday. I think that's why I liked it when I was there, because it feels like you're on holiday. It's that kind of a thing. But after a while, I don't know if that would work for me, because I do like my space, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, well, it'd be good for vlogging, because I could go and do vlogs by the pool like old Brent Trippin used to do. But then who knows? I could move in there and there could be music all the time, and I couldn't do it. And I've got little jungles and things I can walk around here with a walk and talk. I don't know. Maybe you're right, Glenn. I can't decide. Ryan Bentley, especially if she's going to be there by herself. No, she's not going to be there by herself. She won't live there by herself. When I go back, if I do go back, she'll get a little place in town. She just wants like a 1-bedroom. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, obviously, if we'd found that other place, if we'd taken that one by the road, which we didn't because it was bloody noisy and it wasn't as advertised, she'd have been all right there. But she's already said this place. She's got it into her head that it's haunted, because it's quite old, and because there's a lot of older people who live there, they might have died there. So she said straight away, I can't stay by myself. If you go, I would need to move somewhere else, which is why the 6 months was attractive, because we could look for somewhere. But I don't know. Decisions. I don't like being pushed into making a decision, and the reality is I am pushed into making a decision, and whichever I do will be wrong. If we move in there, I'll regret it. If we miss it, I will regret it. But I'm playing bowls tomorrow with the guy who put me onto it, so I've told myself I'll have a decision by then. But it might be taken out of my hands. As I say, apparently 2 guys have already asked about it today. So, Jack Star, so is there not much houses to rent, or is it a location thing, them being too far out of town? It's not. No, there were lots here. That was why there was no rush. It's just I quite like the idea of living there because I've got friends there. You know what I mean? It's very attractive, the idea of having pool parties. Because when we got there, we had a little look around, the next thing you know, we cracked the beers open by the pool. You know, and you've got like a barbecue area, and you know they were saying during COVID, you know, they were having parties till like 3-4 in the morning because they just locked the gates, and it was brilliant. You know, it's that kind of place. You know, everyone's friendly. You could have a great lifestyle there, but it would be very different to the lifestyle I'm having now. You know what I mean? I can see the attraction of that, but it might wear thin after a while. You don't know. But then it's only a 6-month lease. But as I say, I quite like it here. I don't know why, because as Glenn said, the dogs are a problem, the roads are a problem. That place was really quiet. Why am I having such a difficult time to make a decision? Who knows? But no, Glenn, one of the things, no, Draxter, one thing, there's lots of choices. It's hard to get somewhere better, you know, in terms of somewhere that you would really fall in love with. But I don't know. There's something in me, everything in my mind says it's great in so many ways, but something inside me saying, don't move. You know what I mean? And I've learned over the years to listen to your inner self. I don't know. Glenn, reference the ghosts. What's old? Oh, I don't know. It's like, you know, we know what it's like in the Philippines. I mean, one of my mates there is the same age as me, American guy, Nutty. But most of the others are of a certain age. Because it's, you know, it's the Philippines. You get a lot of older guys here. So I think Ellen just got it into her head because there's lots of old people there. Because lots of people would have died there over the years in the apartments. I don't know. But I know she says some strange things sometimes. I said to her, once she had a couple of nights there, she would be all right. But it is just quite dated, surprisingly so, because everything else is quite modern there. Glenn, there's always a compromise factors. Oh, there is. And there's, like they were saying, we can get your own, you can buy a new set in, you can change the furniture and you can have this and have that out. But that's not my style. I don't do that. I made that mistake so many times in Thailand. You get this, you get that. That's why I've not got a generator here. I've spent the last 11 years buying things and then leaving them. I just don't do that anymore. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we could paint it. But I'm thinking, well, what's the point of painting a place if you're only going to be there for 6 months, maybe? You know, you could buy a settee, you could buy whatever, but then not easily going to be able to take it to the next place. You know what I mean? It's just. I don't know. I can't decide. Hi all, Stuart here from Stuart and Asher video. Hi Stuart, how you doing, mate? So what's your tag? Scary Bailey. Why Scary Bailey? Nice to meet you, Stuart. Are you? Where are you now? You're still in the Philippines? Jack Star. If your gut says stay, pal, then better the devil you know, I guess. However, everyone has breaking strain, and a change can be as good also. Yeah, it can be. As I say, it's I've gone in circles on this one. It may well be by the morning I think what part of is bothering me, and I think it's probably silly, I just think I'll end up going out too much and going back to party mode. You know what I mean? Because now I'm like, I've got my nights when I go into town and that, and I do stuff. But a few of the nights of the week, I stay here and I just do my quiet thing. But that's because there's no temptation, if you know what I mean. I've got a feeling there people are going to be going out, and do you want to go to this place? Do you want to go? And I never say no. I'm going to want to go. You know what I mean? And I can just see myself going back into a party mode. And if I moved there, I'd be expecting that, and I might be disappointed if it doesn't turn out like that. You know what I mean? But that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons. So I say I'm terrible at making mine up. Part of me thinks, yeah, if I do that, it's always going to be temptation. I'm going to end up doing this. And you think, well, yeah, but why not enjoy life? Why not be in party mode? You know, what's wrong with that? But ever since Sicky, I've tried to calm that down. You know what I mean? Jack Star, hey pal, nice to meet you. Tell us about you. Scary Bailey just got back to the UK after 3 weeks in the field. Well, Scary, but you know a lot about him, mate. That is Scary Bailey is the couple who you said such nice things about. They are the couple, Stuart and Asher, the English guy and the Polish guy in the video. Stuart, Jack Star was saying some fantastic things about you. What a wonderful couple you were, and I agreed entirely. He enjoyed the video. Jim, Simon, you are lucky to have rental choice. None where we live, so we had no option but to build. Yeah, we are very lucky. That is one of the things that the Philippines definitely beats Thailand on, because if you're living in Thailand, if you're in like Bangkok or Chiang Mai or Pattaya or anywhere like that, there is an abundance of property to rent, and it's all very modern. Well, not all of it, but there's a good choice of Western style apartments now, and it's lovely. I had some great apartments over there. But when you get into the provinces in Thailand, it's like dead man's shoes. It's impossible to get a place, you know what I mean? Unless you're moving with your girlfriend or you build your own place. Very, very hard. I had one guy that I knew in a village a few miles down, Dell, and he got a place, but it took months to get one, because they just don't move away like they do here. They don't, it's just really hard. But here in the Philippines, anywhere you go, there's property for rent. Right in the provinces, you'll find signs up for places to rent. It's very easy here compared to Thailand. Glenn, hi Jim. Paul Moy, hi all. Heading to Butuan and Siargao in a few days. I know people in Siargao. I was going to go at one stage. The people who own the rum bar, who used to be my friends, have got a rum bar in Siargao as well. And I was always planning to go over there, but I never went. I don't know anything about Butuan, but enjoy, mate. Siargao's supposed to, if you like the party, that's supposed to be the best place to go in terms of party life in the Philippines. I got a friend over there now, I think, Isle. He's a DJ, used to work in a rum bar. I think he's in Siargao now. I often see him on Facebook doing his DJing and things. So if you go over there and you see a DJ called Isle Server, tell him Simon says hello. Jim, hi Glenn, Jackstar. Oh, I totally get you. Too much party mode hits you hard. Well, does me. That's it. You know what I mean? It's gonna change me. I think there's gonna be a temptation. Yeah. It's like the things I'm thinking are gonna happen. It's like the pool. The pool's great, but I've lived in apartments in Thailand and that we had great pools. I never used them. I went to the pool once every few months, but that was different because it was like high rise. You had to go down to the pool or whatever. This one, you literally open the door and the pool is like 10 meters away. So why would you not? And it would be nice to sit there and get in the pool. But as I have this illusion when we first got there, I could do my vlogs and do this and do all of that. But you never know, do you? Maybe you're not. Maybe it's going to be more annoying there in terms of news and music and people talking and all that. And I just don't know. Plastered finger. There is an old Scottish saying, what's for you will not pass you by. What's for you will not pass you by. That's an interesting expression. I've never heard that before. So basically, what you're saying is if it's meant to be, it will be. It won't disappear. I'm guessing that's what you mean. Yeah, that's the way to look at things. I will not be too disappointed if it goes. So like I said to my mate earlier on when I messaged him and said, look, I need more time to decide. I said, then if I lose it, it's my fault. I'm not going to. I realise I might lose it through indecision, and if I do, say la vie. Jackstar, oh, I did indeed. I'd be investing, helping with an animal sanctuary. That's what I want to do, Jack. I don't know if I said that in the video the other day, but that's what I've always said I'm going to do, start an animal sanctuary or something like that. I should do. It would make me a better person, and it would give me a purpose. And I don't think it would require that much investment, because I think if you did well with your YouTube channel and that, because you could build a channel and everything around that, that could fund a lot of the work you could do, and there's a lot you could do in terms of neutering animals and going out and treating them. But I also think I'd find it heartbreaking, because you get loads with mange here, which would take, you could pick them up, give them the treatment, rub them, there's so much you could do, but equally. I like the idea of it, but I don't like the idea of seeing animals suffering all the time. And you know what I mean? It's a nice thought. Hopefully one day I will do it, but there's a difference between the fantasy and the reality of doing it. Ryan Bentley, my 2 cents, don't move. I feel you're more grounded. Happy being a homebody, part-time with Ellen. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm looking at, Ryan. That's exactly what I'm thinking. But then maybe I'm being crazy, because the guys there, like most of them in their 60s or 70s, they can't be that much of a party animal. It's just, now I've got my set routines and I just do those. Like I do my quiz on a Thursday, Sometimes I go to the bowls. Sometimes I do this. You know, Saturday night we go out for a meal. From time to time, someone will say, "Do you want to go and do this? Do you want to do that?" And I go. Invariably, if I'm invited, I enjoy it. You know, but I'm just thinking there's always going to be a temptation. Someone, you'll see someone going out, "Oh, we're coming down, are you going here or whatever?" And I'll just say yes all the time, you know what I mean? And vice versa. You know, I don't know. I'm overthinking. But you could well be right, Ryan. That is the way I'm looking at it. Stuart, thank you for the kind words from your viewers. We both really enjoyed our stay in Phil's. We visited the Dumagetti Animal Shelter with a friend. It was an eye-opener. Is it a woman that owns that? Because if it is, there's a guy here. He's got a bar called Kingaroos, Colin, and he does a lot for the local dogs. He's got 4 or 5 rescue dogs he's looked after, but he's always raising money for them and that. And there's a woman in town who runs the sanctuary. I don't know what nationality she is. She's not a Filipino. I'm assuming it's the same place. I don't know. JJ97, what's meant to be won't go by you. Well, I hope that'd be nice if that's the way it works. That would be nice. I'd like to think that's the way it is. Yeah. Opportunities will not be missed. Wise words, JJ975. Jack Star, Scary Bailey. So what places do you think was at the top of your list for moving? Or you still recce other places? Well, I can't answer that. I do. I like you, Stuart and Ash. I thought you're a great couple, and it'd be great for you to come back to Dumagetti. But I honestly think you should try Siem Reap. I don't know why I've got a feeling Siem Reap would be the right place for you. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't sort my own life out. I don't know why I try and give other people advice. Glenn, there's life in some oldies. LOL. No, there is. Of course there is. Of course there is. Yeah, I know. It's I don't know what. I'm surprised when Ellen said that, but I think it's just because it's quite big. It's not big. It's not that much bigger than ours, but the bedrooms are bigger, and they have some strange ideas over here in the Philippines. Like some people think that praying mantis are relatives and things like that. Like it's the grandmother and stuff like that. It's a strange culture in that sense. But I was quite surprised when she said that. I said, "Why would you be scared there? We're in the middle of nowhere." I suppose you've got neighbours, but here you're going to have people every side here. If you shout, there'll be people who will come. It's I don't know why she said that. Scary Billy, yes, a Welsh woman called Christine started the sanctuary. Yeah, that'll be her then. I didn't know she was Welsh. I don't think Colin knows she's Welsh. She's Australian, so he might not know the difference between Welsh and. I should go and see her. Because I could do something in terms of videoing. What is he doing over there? Adam Fonte, hi everyone, just got home. Hi Adam, how you doing, mate? What's the word in Siem Reap? Gotta stop smoking, this is terrible, it does not look good. A disgusting habit. Jack Star Glenn, 100%. Adam Fonte, hey Jack Star. So there we go. I don't know. That noise is bothering me. Maybe it's time to move on. Or maybe it's time to rescue the dog. Maybe I should go and get Christine, the Welsh woman, bring her down to have a word with him. But at least he's not killing it. I thought the other day, reconnecting, we just went off air. Jack Star, we visited Siquijor, Dumagetti, Valencia, Darwin, Panglao, Bohol. Love the Dumagetti, Valencia, Darwin area as it provides so many options. Adam Fente, rain season, so definitely chill in Siem Reap, been working just fine. Glenn, your neighbour might just have a dog on a line. Yeah, but no, it might be, but it sounds like he's hitting it. You hear like a rick and the dog starts... Don't like the guy, I've never met him. But he had a go at Ellen when we first moved in when she put the rubbish out and she left it in the wrong place one time. And I was angry then because she came in quite upset. You know what the Filipinos like, they don't want trouble. So I wanted to have a word with him, but she wouldn't let me. And I didn't know what he looked like then. But about 3 or 4 weeks afterwards, she said, that's him. So I had my eye on him then, but I could only say to him like 4 weeks afterwards. And you've got to be careful what you say to neighbours now over here, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you are the outsider. But Jackson, update on dating, buddy. Called it a day on the nurse. Narrowed it down to 1 now. Why did you call it a day on the nurse? I had high hopes for you and the nurse. What was all that about? Why did you call it a day on her? So you've narrowed it down to 1. When you say you've narrowed it down to 1, are you looking for Mrs. Right then? Is that your plan? Is it? Are you looking to settle down? I didn't think you'd be like that, Jackson. I thought you were playing the field, mate. If you want to settle down, that's great. I mean, I'm settled down. But Ryan Bentley, bit off topic. Have you ever been to Vietnam? No, I have never been to Vietnam. I have never been to Vietnam. I have heard a lot of really good things about Vietnam. Adam's been to Vietnam. He can tell you about that. I'm sure Glenn's been to Vietnam. But there was a stage when I first got here when I met a number of people and I interviewed them, and they all went to Vietnam, or they just come back from Vietnam, or they were going to Vietnam, and we kept in touch. And I heard nothing but positive things about Vietnam. And I convinced myself that I had made a mistake coming to the Philippines. I should go to Vietnam. But then over the last few months, I've met several people who've been to Vietnam and did not like it at all. An American mate of mine, Lawrence, just got back from Vietnam. He went to Thailand and Vietnam for a few weeks. And I said, what was Vietnam like? Did not like it. I've got an English mate over here. He's just gone to Vietnam a couple of days ago. He's gone with his girlfriend for 2 weeks. So when he gets back, I will have to ask him about it. Nurses are crazy in a unique way. Scary Jackstar, I've jumped one here. Scary Bailey, sounds good. I really enjoyed your vid. Have you still have a time frame of 2 years-ish? Glenn, only the Vietnamese border. Jackstar, well, I went down south for a few meetings, decided to see a helicopter pilot buddy. She started getting a hump, saying, when you back, etc. Oh, so she was a bit jealous, she a bit controlling. Can't have that, mate. Can't have that. But then again, a bit controlling is nice from time to time. It keeps you in line, doesn't it? It's yeah, mixed emotions on that one. So what does this one do? The one that you've narrowed it down to. What's her story? What is her occupation? Is she the one that's slightly older? Well, I say slightly older. She's still 10 years younger than you, isn't she? But you said you were seeing one who was 44. Is that the one? The plaster finger. I've been adopted by a street dog, Mange. Yeah, been trying to treat him. So the other day I went to the shops past the local market and Todder turned around and shouted, "Go home," and pointed. Part 1. Let me read that again. I've been adopted by a street dog. Yeah, been trying to treat him. So the other day I went to the shops past the local market and Todder turned around and shouted, "Go home," and pointed. Part 1. Oh, there you go. Got that. Yeah, this thing with his mange is what I can't get over. I looked after some of the dogs in the village when I lived in Thailand, and they had mange. And I went down to the local vets and I bought this powder, and it was great because you could just sprinkle it on them. Because I sprinkled it on 2 or 3 I didn't know very well, you know what I mean? You didn't want to touch them, but you could just put the powder on them just very quickly, and within a few days they were like, I think they'd do like a couple of treatments, they were right away. So I thought I would get some of that over here, but you don't seem to get it anymore. All you seem to get over here is like, liquids on Lazada, which you're supposed to shampoo into the dog. I can't go around shampooing street dogs. I mean, they might bite me. They're quite timid over here. You could give them some food and sprinkle some powder on them. That would work. And that's what I was hoping to do. But I cannot get the powder anywhere. So I don't know why they've stopped doing that, but I say I can't. All the ones I can find on Lazada are like you shampoo it in, and that's no good. It's okay if it's your pet dog, but not for homeless ones. Scary, I think we will move early mid next year. Already missing the fills. Well, if you like it, Stuart, I'm very I'm happy you found what you're looking for. It's I'm a bit surprised, to be honest with you. But as you said, with a vegan, this is awful. This smoke isn't it, blowing in the thing. I should. It looks awful with the camera. I think I have to stop now. This is no good smoking like this. It looks awful. You just think, I mean, yeah, I don't know, yeah. It's because it's so unusual to get married couples. Well, I know you're not married, but serious couples moving here. You kind of think, what would be in it for Yeah, but you like it, so there you go. There must be more to the Philippines than I imagined. No, I was dating 3 women and no plans to settle down at all. Yeah, she's 44, manager of care homes. Like, yeah, he said so. It's the same one. It is the same one then. Well, she sounds nice. She sounds nice, but that's just you and her then. I mean, I don't think you're going to settle down. But I mean, you're not looking at any others, or are you still active on the old dating? Jack, a bit of affection is okay. Jack, a bit of affection is okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Are we talking about the aspects of the controlling? Or are we talking about the? I'll wait until you expand on that. I'm watching you two guys chat. Adam, I love Vietnam, but we all have different motivations. If your motivation is a vibrant dating life with women under 30, PH is king. But in terms of cost of living, food, infrastructure, Vietnam wins. Yeah, but does it win? I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I don't think anywhere beats Thailand for dating, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm older now, so I think Thai women are less likely to be interested in a big age gap. But when I was living up in the mountains, I'm not joking, I very rarely went out without a girlfriend because she wouldn't let me go out because you were desirable there. You know, if I ever went out with, you know, in like the local town at the villages with some of my Thai friends, my God, women throw themselves at you. And they're not like, you know, bar girls, they're just like, you know, Thai women because they're Buddhists. They don't have the same constraints in terms of sin and all the rest of it. But so I mean, yeah, I Vietnam, it might. I mean, it depends what you're looking for. But Lawrence was saying that the food is nowhere near as good as Thailand. Other people have told me it's great. But the thing I don't get about Vietnam is you can't retire there. You can't get a long-term visa. You have to do visa runs. I mean, that's all going to add up, you know, in terms of your cost of living and things. Because you're going to constantly have to be crossing the border and all the rest of it. And I can't be doing with that at my age. I did that for the first 4 or 5 years in Thailand. I'm not interested in anywhere where you have to do border runs anymore. Jack Star, happy days, Scary Bailey. Scary Bailey, a mange tablet in the fields is about $20. The larger tablet is the same price and it can be split into 4 quarters to treat 4 dogs. Well, there you go. I haven't looked into that. I haven't seen that. I suppose that would be an option. Because you could put it in the food, couldn't you, as long as they ate it. I'll have to look into that mange tablet. Never knew that was an option. Not seen them. So I haven't looked into that heavily. I was just looking on Lazada because you get most of your stuff delivered. And the vet shops, I don't think there are vet shops, there are more pet shops here. There aren't many vets. Why did you look into that then? Did you ask, presumably that woman Christine, she told you about that, did she, the Welsh woman? Because that's something I did not know. Glenn, you need a bike and in a stall, Simon's dog shampoo biz. That's what I should do, like, you know, set my little thing up, bring your dogs for a wash. Jack Star, or thanks Glenn, didn't know you cared. At Jack, hush, LOL. Jack Star, lots of laughing emojis. Okay, Billy, on a tourist visa, what's the difference with extending in your ties versus the fills? Well, it's incredibly easy to extend on a tourist visa here compared to Thailand. Thailand's a nightmare on a tourist visa. You can't get one. I mean, you can start. I mean, it's a long time since I was there, but the rules are tightened up. I mean, I think the 60-day visa's gone now. But basically, the way it standardly was, I mean, when I first got to Thailand, you could just cross the border and come back again. But you could go into the country with a 3-month visa, which you'd have to get in your home country. It was good for the first 2 months. Then you had to extend it for a month. Then you had to leave. Now, I think you can go in for a 1-month visa on arrival. You can extend it for 1 month for immigration. But then you would have to leave and come back again. And you can't just cross the border and walk back over again. You'd have to, you know, stay a day in another country. But I think that's limited now. You can only do it by flight. You can't walk over the border. And I think you can only do it 2 or 3 times in a year. So you couldn't do it the whole year. You could only stay for 6 months. You get an ED visa. They're easy to get if you go for a visa agent, and then you can stay for the length of the course, which you either attend or not. I mean, it's up to you. Or you can get retirement visa. Retirement visas are easy over there. But it's nothing like the Philippines. where you can just extend up to 3 years on the tourist visa like I'm doing. I mean, I just extend it every 2 months. Go down, get another one, go down, get another one, and you can do that for up to 36 months. There is nowhere, I don't think, in Asia which is better in terms of tourist visas than the Philippines. But once you reach 50 plus, it gets easier. In Thailand, easier to get a tourist visa, a retirement visa at 50. Here, it's not so easy because you have to actually do it by the books. You have to put money in the bank account, all the rest of it. You can get them here. Cambodia is supposed to be very easy when you're 55. You have to have a pension of a certain amount. I think it's $800, but you don't have to prove it. You just have to say that you have it. So it's so in terms of tourist visas, Philippines beats Thailand hands down in terms of tourist visas, not on retirement visas though. Scary Bailey. We love the freedom, the people, and the variety in the area. Diving, snorkeling, and what the hell is that? Bloody cockroach landed on me. I hate those things. Till I've been here a while. A few months ago, I had a scream when that happened. Diving, snorkeling, Darwin, Secure Island, Valencia, nature and Dumaguete, shopping, life, music, bars, expat clubs, community. There you go. What did you think of? Did you go to the North Point that last night? Because when we left, you said you might try the North Point. Did you make it up there? What did you think of that? Tell you what though, we found a new place. Oh my god, I'll pop it in a vlog. There's a place called the Food Net, which is a food place. There's 3 of them in Dumaguete, or maybe 4, and it's like a little buffet place where you can go in and pick a few dishes, and the food isn't bad. But there's one of them which is opposite a bar called Fibber McGee's, which I had never been to until about a month ago. But after one of the quizzes, mate of mine, Darren and his girlfriend, said they were going down the Food Net. Did I want to come? I said, I'm not that hungry. He said, no, go down there for a drink. So he went down there, and my God, it's good. We've been going there like each week. A big group of us now went last week. I think about 7 or 8 of us went. But it is the cheapest place I've ever found in the Philippines. A bottle of whiskey, which is not what I drink, it's what my mate Darryl drinks, is 100 pesos. 120 pesos for the bottle, ice, and an iced tea mixer. I don't know why you'd want iced tea mixer. But when we went a couple of weeks ago, San Miguel Light is 2 for 1, 65 pesos. So 65 pesos, which is £1 for 2 bottles of San Miguel. The first night we went there, I thought it was a promotion or something, so it was a really messy night. But it seems to be every night. And the place is open till 5 AM in the morning. And it's full of Filipinos and our little group. And the music's good. It's not a live band. They've got like the DJ banging away. My God, I love that place. It's my new, and that's what I like about Dumaguete. You will always find a new bar or a new club or something to do, but you can't fault that place. The food is good, like really good. You can go down there, you just grab a, mix whatever you want, a bit of rice, a bit of pancit, a bit of this or whatever. Get your plate of food, you go back. Daryl's drinking his bottle of whiskey. We're all, it's God, you say till 5 o'clock in the morning it's open till, every night of the week. Really good place. My new favourite. If you're in Dumaguete, try it. And what I like about it is no expats go there, apart from us. I mean, mind you, we went there last week and there were 2 guys. It's mainly Filipinos, and I love that. I like Filipino places. They probably think we're spoiling it because we had a table of about 8 or 9 of us. Probably next week it'll be 20 of us. I mean, word has got round. But Darryl is very good at finding these places. There's another place on Valencia Hill, Little Dongans, which is basically just a convenience store. But it's got these chairs and that outside it, and that's open till like 2, 3 in the morning. And you just go in the shop, buy it and drink outside. But there's some food places there and that gets really busy. I like it there as well. Plaster finger, use peanut butter to deliver meds. They love it. Okay, good advice. That would work. Get some peanut butter. Okay, Billy, have you considered the retirement visa in Thailand? Yeah, if I went back to Thailand now, I would get one. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's but I'm happy here. But no, the trouble is, when I was in Thailand, I was under 50, so I couldn't get one. But now I'm 50. Yeah, I'd get. Yeah, if I went back to Thailand, I'd get a retirement visa straight away because it's so easy there. You just literally go in a visa shop and they'll sort everything out for you. They'll sort out your paperwork and all that, and You don't need to have any of the funds or anything. You know, that's what I say. It's easier than Thailand, because it's easier in Thailand than it is here. Because here there's lots of visa agents, but they don't do anything. They just fill in the forms, and you could do it all yourself. There's no benefit I can see here from using a visa agent. But in Thailand, if you want to actually put the money in that in the account, you can do it by the books. They'll do the whole thing for you for like £200. But if you don't want to do any of that for about £400, they'll take care of it. They literally go down, take you to the bank, open the bank account for you. They deposit the £18,000 or whatever you need in the bank, get the printed statement, they take the money back, do the thing, get you there, take you there, you get it in 6 months' time. You have to prove you've got the money again. They just take you down the bank again. They deposit the money. They just take care of everything there. You know, there's nothing is a problem in terms of visas in Thailand. The visa agents will sort it all out here. I went down and spoke to them in Dumageti about getting a forces retirement visa. And they don't have a bloody clue. They just read the form with you and say, you need this, you need that, you need this. And I said, well, I can see that myself, but is there a way around this or a way around that? I now look at the form again. It's just pointless. There's nothing I would use here. I mean, I could get a retirement visa here myself and do it all myself, and it wouldn't be difficult. But the visa agent will do it for you for £600. And do what exactly? They don't do anything. It's like, that's why I stopped using them for my tourist visas. When I lived in Sikihor, they were a godsend, because there's no visa office in Sikihor. So what I could do there is leave my passport with them in Dumageti, and there was a cafe called Cafe Napoli, which was just across the road where I used to live, and every 2 weeks a visa agent from the office would come there and they'd sit there and they'd deal with people living in Sikihor. So you could you just give them the money and say, right, I want you to extend my visa, and they'd extend it, and the passport was there in the office. If you needed it, they'd send it to you Sikihor, but you never needed it. So it was fantastic. It saved me going to and fro on the ferry. It was an amazing service. Here it's pointless, because if you go down into the immigration, the two visa companies are next to immigration, so you can either go into immigration and do it yourself, and if you go in the afternoon there are no queues. If you go in the morning it's a nightmare, but anyone who knows goes about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's dead. You just walk into the immigration, you pay your money, you save yourself 1,000 pesos, because you don't need to use, because that's what the visa agency charges, and you get it. Or you go into the visa agent next door, fill in exactly the same paperwork, spend exactly the same amount of time, but pay them 1,000, and they go next door and pop it in for you. It's pointless in my mind. Okay, Billy, I'm told after 12 months on a tourist visa in the fields, they ask deeper questions. Have you experienced this? Yeah, no, they don't. They go through the questions because they ask more questions, but they don't really care about the answers. I have not heard of anyone, touch wood yet, being deported or whatever. They just ask. They'll just ask you. Like when you first go in, they'll just extend it. But now, or at the year mark, they'll say something like, so what are your plans? Why have you been here so long? And I just said, well, because I'm a tourist and I'm enjoying the things. But you've been here quite a while. I said, yeah, my plan is to live in the Philippines for a few years, decide if I like it, and if I like it, and I'm traveling around, I'm going to other places, and if I decide there's somewhere that I want to stay, then I'll probably get a retirement visa. And they're like fine with it. They're fine. It's I think they asked me last time, what do you do for funds? And I said, I've got passive income from the UK and investments, and they're fine with that. But that's all they do. They might ask you a question now, whereas the first few months they don't ask any questions. But there's no, they're just going through the motions, and you've got to write on the form why you're here. And I think the first year I just put tourism. So the last time they said, can you expand on that? So I said, I'm here on tourism, enjoying the Philippines and experiencing the culture. That was fine, So I don't think that what they're trying to crack down on is the people who have been here for. So I believe there's a lot of people here who have been here for 12 years plus on visas, who are married and things like that, and they're trying to get them to go onto the married visas. So I think if you but me now approaching 2 years, they're not bothered about people like us at 2 years. They're bothered about the people who are actually married and have a house over here. And they're not trying to get rid of them. I think they just want to get them onto the visas. But you keep hearing scare stories onto the marriage visas. You keep hearing or the retirement visas. You keep hearing scare stories about how they're cracking down on this. I don't know anybody who has been, you know, kicked out or had any hassle. You know, I think it's nothing to worry about, mate. Jackstar, Scary Billy sounds like a good place as a base for travelling around. I think that's what they were planning to do, mate. Use it as a point. Yes, we went to the higher in the North Point. Great music and atmosphere. The higher is not the North Point, mate. The higher is not the North Point. The North Point is about a few hundred metres up from that. You went to the wrong place. High is okay, though. I've not been there in years, but that's not the North Point. The North Point, you've got to carry on past that because you've got the higher, and then you turn left. You've got don't go down the left road because that's where Cafe Racing at. I know you keep on going down. The North Point, how far is it? It's a few hundred metres up and it's on your left-hand side. You never made it to the North Point, mate. Adam Fente, I miss some Filipina. I need a tune-up. Scary Billy Jackstar, yes, it is including the airport and 2 ports for travelling. Yeah, it is a good setup point. Jackstar, perfect. Scott Gein, hi Scott from New Zealand. Just wondering, would 10 million baht and pension be enough to live in Thailand for good? Well, how long's a piece of string, mate? I'm not being funny. It depends entirely on your lifestyle, and it depends how much your pension is. You know, if you're not living in Patti or somewhere like that, and you're living in the provinces, and you lead like it depends. It depends entirely. It's impossible to say. But all I will say is the average state pension in most Western countries will be sufficient to live in Thailand, unless you're planning on leading the party lifestyle, unless you're planning on doing what some guys do in Patti, etc. And it depends. But I mean, 10 million baht, what's that? That's about £225. 225. Yeah, 10 million baht. Yeah, that's over 200 grand, and it's £225,000. I mean, that'd certainly be enough for your emergency fund. Yeah, I would have thought so. I mean, it depends your pension is, but it depends on your lifestyle. I could certainly live very comfortably on that kind of money over there. As long as my pension was more than £1,000 a month, I could live quite comfortably in Thailand. My living expenses in Thailand never went over £1,000 a month when I was living in the provinces. They were usually quite a bit less than that. Jackstar Scott Gein, be careful about the tax bringing that sort of money in, buddy. Yeah, well, see, the thing is, I have not been there for a number of years. Jackstar still got a place up in Udon Thani, so he's the guy to ask, not me, because I don't know if they brought these new tax laws in. I mean, that is the thing I didn't mention when I was talking about the visas. There is the potential for things to become very difficult in terms of they're going to tax income that you bring into the country, etc., etc. But as far as I'm aware, they haven't finalised exactly what they're going to do on that. But there will be ways around that. But yeah, as Jackstar says, certainly you don't want to bring that money into the country. Good God, no. I mean, you want to have that money in Western banks, in New Zealand banks and things like that. As far as I can see, they will probably tax you on the amount that you have to have in the bank for your pension. But as long as it looks like you're eating into that, because you can't touch that for the first 6 months, then you can touch it. But you've got to top it up again at the end of 6 months. So my advice would be to anyone who's over there, have the money in the bank. They are going to tax you on that if the new law comes in. Start eating into it so you can say that's what you're living on. But the rest of the money, just draw it out of ATMs. Get sent over. Because, I mean, there's no way they can know what you're drawing out of your ATMs over there, or what you're getting sent over and whys, or, there's got to be ways around it. But if you're declaring it and you're transferring like £2,000 or £3,000 into a Thai bank account at a time, then you're going to get hit for it, because the banks will talk. But there's no way the banks that I know can know what you're drawing out of an ATM, from your English bank account, if you're drawing it out from a bank over there. Particularly if you have the card registered to a different address or whatever. Anyway, I don't know, so I'm no expert. I'm not encouraging anyone to break the law. I'm just saying, like anything in life, there's a reason why you have accountants. So there are ways around things. How many likes have I got, by the way? 10? Give me some likes, chaps. If you're talking to me, give me some likes. I like to have likes. 24. I must have had, probably, I've got 24 people watching now. There must have been, I don't know, at least 100 of them coming in and out. But I've only had 11 likes. No, I got 13. Thank you very much, chaps. 13, unlucky for some. Yeah, that's good advice from Jackstar about bringing the money over there. You want to be very careful about doing that. But they haven't finalised the details yet, have they, Jack? I mean, they haven't said exactly how it's going to work, have they? I think they've just said in principle they're going to tax you on income that's brought in, which hasn't been taxed in your home country. I mean, someone was saying that the other day. So if you pay tax on your pension in the UK, they're not going to double tax you if you bring it into the UK, into Thailand. I don't know. I say, if I do decide to move back to Thailand at some stage, obviously I would have to research it heavily. But until they decide, I just don't, I'm not giving it too much interest. Jackstar, has anyone seen they're thinking of doing like a Schengen zone in Asia, where you will only need one visa to travel between countries, Phil's Thailand, Vietnam, and a few others interested? Now that would be a very good. That would be a very good thing. Didn't know they were. Didn't know. No, I hadn't heard of that at all. I've got to keep more on top of stuff like this, because if I did that, I could do a vlog on it each week, talking about like a poor man's Tim Newton. Because I wouldn't do it as well as he did. He's very professional. He does his research. But I should be looking into that, like talking about things like that. No, interesting, Jack. I will research that. Never heard of that. The plastered finger visas. My local office is very helpful and tries to help as much as he can. My lady friend puts her name down on the forms as my girlfriend, and they pretty much nod it through. See, I'm not sure about this girlfriend business, because they did do that. In the year mark, I went there with Ellen, and they were asking me about my girlfriend. They said, "Is this your girlfriend?" And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, for the forms." I said, "Well, what's it got to do with her? I mean, the forms are me. I'm there." Because I didn't know if the answer was to say, because I wasn't sure if you say, yes, she is my girlfriend and we're in a relationship, that they'll start to say, well, you're not a tourist then. You're here because of her. Or it might be a plus because you're with a girlfriend. They think, oh, well, he's got a girlfriend here, so they won't ask so many questions. I don't know. I went the opposite route as you. I said, yeah, she's my girlfriend, but she's not the reason I'm in the Philippines. So I don't understand why it's relevant, because I wanted her name for the form. And that's the route I took. And it wasn't a problem, because I said, okay. It's funny, I said that, and then I went to the other desk, and they said, "Is that your girl? Do you have a girlfriend?" And then I saw the other one go like. So, and it was never a problem. I mean, that's probably a year ago now that happened. But it's interesting you've gone the other way. You've said you do have a girlfriend, and that's helped you. Because I said to some guys here after, I said, I don't know why they were asking me that. And they said, don't worry about it. They're not bothered. They're just asking more questions because of the thing. I said, yeah, I know, I get that. I said, but I don't know what the right answer is. Do you say, yeah, I'm in a really loving relationship, we're serious, we live together? Is that a bonus? Because to me, that doesn't make it look like you're a tourist. But who knows? I am no expert. Scott Green, pension about 35,000 baht a month. Well, you'll be fine then. Yeah, mate, you'll be fine. Good Lord, yeah, you'll be fine. Jesus, yeah, be fine. Yeah, no problem at all. You can live a hell of a life in Thailand. Yeah, a hell of a life in any Asian country on that kind of finances. Joe Peeney, 25 watching, 10 likes. I know, Joe. Thanks for mentioning that. It's gone up to 16 now, mate. Thanks to your good work, no doubt. Appreciate it, mate. Bindamar, there's a lady who has a dedicated site on visa issues, etc. Is there? I tend not to take any notice of stuff like that in terms of the visa things, because it's just the rules are the rules here, and they'll be on black and white, and they will invariably be out of date. And it really doesn't matter what they say, because when you go to the visa office, it's the luck of the draw. It's like anything. It's like getting a driving license. It's like getting anything over here. It is. It's the luck of the day. It doesn't matter what it says or what. And one of the things I have found over here, you can talk them round. Like in Thailand, said, no, you're wrong about this. I think you'll find it's this. They'll be like, no, we know what we're doing. Here, you can say, well, I think you probably might have read that wrong, because I've interpreted it a different way. And I think actually I can get a bank account or whatever. And a lot of times I say, oh, okay, fine. It's like, because they really don't know a lot of the time. It's so much confusion with the 6-month visas, because they stopped doing the 6-month visas unless you're in Manila. And a lot of documents like bank accounts say you have to be in here for 6 months. So a lot of banks interpret that as you must have a 6-month visa. But when you read the direction, it's not you have to be here 6 months. So when we went, she said, do you have a 6-month visa? And I said, no. And she said, oh, because 6 months. I said, no. I said, it doesn't mean you have to have a 6-month visa, it means you have to have been here for more than 6 months. And she was like, fine with that. But I heard other people message me and said, oh, you're talking crap. I went to the bank and they wouldn't do it because I didn't have a 6-month visa. And I said, well, I'm not talking crap, mate. I'm telling you what my experience was. And I did not need a 6-month visa because I explained to them there are no 6-month visas in Dumaguete anymore. And they were fine with that because you don't need a 6-month visa. It means you need, it's like with your driving license. Some people were told in Dumaguete you had to have a 6-month visa. No, you don't. You have to have been in the country for 1 year. And that's the rule. If you've been here 1 year, then you can transfer your driving license. But then again, my old mate Brent, about 6 months after seeing my video, he went down there. They told him it's 4 months. And he'd have to come back when he'd been here for 4 months. But of course, because he kept going out of the country, he couldn't get one. But I said, have they changed the rules to 4 months? South Africa guy come up and thanked me the other, about 2 days afterwards. He'd gone down and got a visa. And I said, what did they ask you? How long did you have to be here to get it? And he said, 1 year. But it was no problem. I've been here 3 years. So they told him 1 year. And this is the same office, the LTO. It will be different each time you go. So if you have a bad experience, just go back a week later and you'll get someone else and you'll probably get it. Scott Green, like Simon said, depends on your lifestyle. Good base is about 1.5 to 2K a month. I spend very little, to be honest, but have an income from my farm and war pension. Only 53. Yeah, I mean, you've got, as Jack said, it depends on your lifestyle, but you've got to have, you don't want to have so many times. Like my expenditure is what my expenditure is, but I don't have to live on that budget. It's like we could spend the extra and move to that other place. It's very different living on a budget, because then if you can't spend over, you got to live within it. You know what I mean? It's stressful having to live within that. But yeah, where I lived up in the mountains, and I loved it up there, there wasn't much you could spend your money on. If you went into town and you went to like a nightclub or an event, I mean, the most expensive restaurant, and it's all great food inside, the most expensive restaurant there would be, I don't know, £15 for your main. Your beer would never be more than 100 baht. I mean, you just couldn't spend. There was nothing to spend. It's not like, living in London where you could go out and you could have a £300 meal, or you could buy like a £120 bottle of wine. That just doesn't exist. So, I mean, it's like here, you go out. I mean, last week we went out twice. We went down to the Food Net and had really late night there. I mean, it's less than £1 for 2 bottles of beer. How much can you drink? We had the food there. I think it was 300 for me and Ellen, both of us, to have our little meal. And then we ordered a couple of pizzas as the night went on, and the pizzas are like 200 pesos. So that's like £3 for like a 12-inch pizza. You can't really spend, it's always amazes me, people who say you need like £3,000 or $3,000+ to live comfortably in Dumaguete. I just think, what are you spending? I don't know what you could be spending it on. Even if we went out every night. When I was in Sikihor, I was out every night till 3-4 in the morning, on it all the time. But the reality was, I never really spent more than 2,000 pesos. Because what was there to buy? I mean, those days I was going nuts. We'd go in, and as soon as I got in the bar, I'd buy a couple of rum towers and a bit. But the rum towers were 300 pesos for a rum tower, which is a whole bottle of rum and a thing. And even if you get like a couple of those and you go down, you buy a few rounds for everyone in the bar, it's cheap as peanuts. You can't. How these people think you can? And the meals we go out, me and Ellen, very rarely over 1,000 pesos, which is £14 for the two of us to have a meal and drinks, and she gets a dessert. It's very cheap. It amazes me how people say it's expensive. Adam Fenton, well, they do have a 6-month visa here still. It's just it's in Manila, and I won't say too much, but there are ways around that. I could get a 6-month visa if I wanted to in Dumaguete, but I'm not going to expand on that anymore. But that shouldn't be the thing that keeps you away from it, mate. You can get a 6-month visa. You might not want to. I think you might be able to get it from Cebu, but you can definitely get it from Manila. They haven't banned them completely. You just can't get them from the regional offices. But you could be here for. You could come in so as I understand it, you could come here on your normal visa, extend for a month. Come here on the month visa without, get your first month extension, and you can hit the Manila and get a 6-month visa. Scott Green, not been down there, buddy. I must have missed where you've been. Where are you from, Jackstar? Jackstar, mate, I was in Hereford last week. £80 plus £120 for afternoon drinks and a meal. Wouldn't spend that in a week in Thai. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. You know, and you're going to have a fantastic meal in Thailand. I bet. I mean, I'm sure you went to a nice place, but you know, you can't beat it. I mean, let's think about Thailand as well. It's, you know, there's certain dishes I really like over there, and you know, when you do go to nice restaurants, top restaurants in Thailand, you find yourself wondering, why have I done it? Because it's not actually, the service is better and it's finer and the tables and that there, but the street food's so damn good there. I've sat there and I've ordered, like, you know, Thai curry, green curry, you know, gung tom song. You know, you think it's not actually that much better than the one you get from the street, you know, like the pad kapow moo or whatever from a street vendor. It's just, the food is so good there, and I love the Chang. You know, I just don't know what I don't know. You know, it's just so cheap compared to the West. Ryan Bentley, I always wondered about the budget there, in the budget difference. Everyone, but my question is, how much should you save for a rainy day out of the budget? Oh, you want to have a, it depends what your plan is in terms of if you get sick going back to your country. But that's the big question. And it will get difficult as you get older. Because when we're always calculating, when you retire early, you're always calculating what is your, God, this smoke looks awful on this thing. I've got to stop smoking. Yeah, I'd say for a rainy day, you want to have access to 50,000 plus, I would say, to be comfortable, you know, which you can access if you have an accident or something like that. There's an insurance broker who I did an interview once on the channel, and he was saying there's an insurance policy that he sells, which covers you for 1.5 million baht if you have an accident or something like that. And he said that will cover virtually every eventuality. You know, there's not much that's going to cost you much more than that. And that got me thinking, well, that is about £20,000. You know, which would cover you having a really bad smash in it and having to stay in the hospital for a couple of months and that kind of thing. So you don't need a lot, but it depends what you want. I mean, if you want to buy a car and things, you know, I will spend more. I said at the moment I'm in transient mode in the sense I'm staying here, but I don't have the urge to. At some stage, when we settle down and we've got a house, I will buy a car and things, and I will, you know, have some big expenditure. But I'm not interested in doing that at the moment. So you'd need cash for that. But it's impossible to say. But, you know, you certainly, I would never think about living somewhere like it full time. You'd always got to have at least 50, 60,000 pounds in a bank. I mean, not in a bank. I mean, you can have it in, like, you know, ISIS and things like that, you know, so you're earning off it. But you want to, the heck is that? Oh, that's all right. See, that's the size of that beetle. I don't mind them. I like beetles, just don't like cockroaches. If that was a cockroach, I'd have to move the chair away. Jackstar, Scott Green, Cheshire in UK, but have a farm up near Udon. Long story. He has a rubber plant farm. Scott Green, stay at Brian Jack's place. Nice guy, judo champ, had own TV show in England. Yeah, you know, I thought about that. I'm planning when I go, because we are going to go, I'm going to do a bit of vlogging, and I thought about doing some interviews. I thought about touching base with a few people. I don't think I'd stay in his place because, well, I wouldn't stay there because it's a long-term place, isn't it? But it's not in the area that I would want to stay. If I was moving over there full time again, well, I wouldn't live in there. I'd move up to Chiang Mai or somewhere. But if I was in that area, I'd prefer to live in Jomtien. I think he's over in Pratamak or something. Anyway, I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I've seen the shows, but I've seen his interviews. Yeah, he was the guy, the judo guy. What was that TV show? Superstars or something? He always won that. But yeah, household name. No, but I thought about messaging him, seeing if I can interview him when I go to Thailand. Because I'll do a few vlogs and that over there, but I am thinking of, there's a few channels I used to watch over there, Rides for Kicks. And there's another guy, he's got the Buzz Bar over there. I will message a few of them before we go and see if I can do some interviews. But as I understand it, the place where he's got, because he's doing well for himself, and he's got a little development. He's got like 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom studio apartment things, but they're for long time expats. And I say it's not part of patio I'd want to live. Just a bit, not that much, just not the part. I prefer Jomtien. I like the beach and that over there. It's quieter than Jomtien. I think he's Pratamak, isn't he? I'm sure. I don't think he's dark side. Adam Fenton, street food was great when I visited Thailand. Only reason to go in a restaurant was for Western food. Yeah, but you know where. Yeah, but when you know, I mean, I had girlfriends there, so I mean, you go out. You go to a restaurant once a week. Don't want to street. You want to go out for a night out. But I used to love the buffets. I love the Thai buffets, and she used to love that as well. And our daughter would just go. There was like, there was one really good one in Petrobras. There were a few others, but we used to go to the buffets like once a week. She loves that. Get the old prawns and put them in the old thingy pot and cook them up. And there was a couple of places that did Western food and Italian. We went there a few times. She liked that. But there wasn't really much in Petrobras for Westerners. I mean, that's one of the things I like about Thailand. It's Thailand. You get great food. But we cooked a lot up in the village because people go out, catch fish and, pick plant. We're always cooking stuff outside the house and that. It's like, someone would bring this, someone would bring that. Before you know it, there's like 20 of you, the neighbours and that all sat round drinking till the early hours eating. It was great. But yeah, I did not miss. I don't know. I mean, I eat Western food here a lot because I don't think Filipino food's that great. But if the Filipino food was as good as Thai food, I'd never eat Western food over there. Jackstar, my father was from Cornwall. My stepfather's from Cornwall. Actually, no, he's not. He's a Janner. He's from Plymouth. But my parents lived down near Loo for a few years. I like Cornwall. Scott Green, Jackstar, been to Udon Thani, like food court in the city. See, well, I've never been to Udon Thani. I would like to go one day. It looks like a good place for expats to live. I've seen a couple of vlogs of people who moved up there, and they seem to have a lot of apartment choices. I quite like the idea of moving to Pitsanulo. I quite like Pitsanulo. I used to go and do my visa runs when I was living in Petrobras. They've got a visa office in Petrobras now, but they didn't when I was there, so you had to go to Pitsanulo. And we'd always stay a couple of nights, and I liked it. But it didn't have much choice in terms of accommodation. Because when I split up my girlfriend, I thought about moving there. But there wasn't a lot. I think there's only like 2 apartment, buildings there, and they weren't great. But I saw a couple of vlogs on Udon Thani, and they had a lot of options there, a lot of options for, Westerners, in like Western style apartments and things. I like that. Adam Fante, it's more fun in the Philippines. It's strange, isn't it? All the time I've been living in Asia now, over 11 years, I've never got used to the cockroaches. Don't mind snakes. Do not mind spiders. Only 2 things I really hate over here are cockroaches, and in the UK, I cannot stand earwigs. God, awful things. But other than that, I'm fine with creepy crawlies. Jackstar, sorry guys, I have to bounce. Got a meeting. Love chatting, guys. Have a good one. Nice to see you guys in here. Simon, always a pleasure. Take care. You too, Ellen. Thanks, mate. Appreciate the donation, Jack. Thanks very much, brother. Catch you on the next one, I hope. Good luck with your meeting. I hope it goes well. Thanks. Always appreciate your input, mate. I hope things you get things sorted with your daughter, mate, because it would be great to get you out here. But it'd be even great if you got them sorted for yourself. I mean, you don't want to have the stress of all that hanging over you. I hope she sorts things out, mate. Glenn at Jack, cheers, Glenn. Scott, yes, Pat, yeah, Brian, Jack, great guy. The plaster finger, buzzing Pattaya. Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah, I think he's got a bar, isn't he? Yeah, I always quite liked him. I haven't watched it for a while, but I wouldn't mind interviewing him. There was an American guy that rides for kicks. I used to watch his channel. He's got a great voice for vlogging. What does he say? He's got a catchphrase. Can't think what it is now. But he could have had a radio career. But I used to watch his channel. His channel changed, but I'd like to interview him because in the beginning he was just like riding around his bike. He just got there, but now he's like, I've not watched him for a year or so now. But he ended up going into doing restaurant vlogging and that kind of thing. But yeah, I would contact him. I contact Brian Jack. I mean, that's assuming they got contact details. It used to be easy on YouTube. You just had email addresses, so you could email people and say, look, any chance of interviewing you or whatever. But not so many people have it now. There's a couple of people over here I've wanted to touch base with, and you have a look and they don't have any contact details. I could track them down if I wanted to. I mean, I could ask around. I mean, people would know them, but I'm too lazy for that. Adam Fonte, the mosquitoes in Thailand and Cambodia were something for me to get used to. Hate the roaches as well. But these red crickets are getting confident. Don't mind crickets. So the other day, there's a couple of crickets in the house, and I picked them up in my hand and put them out. And Ellen's like, how can you touch them and not touch them? They're worse than cockroaches. Bloody not. Crickets are quite cute. I think the Jimmy cricket from the old Disney films. Mosquitoes in Thailand are a problem. They're not so much a problem here, but yeah, Jung, as they call them over there. Yeah, when we were out in the evenings, just as we did nearly every night where I lived, because everyone knew each other, everyone was related. We'd just have a few drinks at night outside the house, and they'd always get the banana plant leaves down and start burning them, around where we were sitting to get because you don't like them. And you had these little purple, mosquito things. You'd have to get them because you get bitten to bugger them. In fact, I'll tell you a story now. I did a video on him. A guy I used to know over there called, I changed his name for the video, so I'll change it again. But he had, it's going to sound nasty now, I'm just being honest. He had terrible warts everywhere. He was covered in warts. It was a very unfortunate situation to be in. And a lot of people would give him looks. And because I don't like that, so I befriended him. And he was a friend of a few friends of mine, but we were out one night and we got very drunk. And, we were out shit. And I had my arm around him and all this kind of stuff. I didn't give it a second thought. And in about 2 days after that, we went down to Bangkok with my girlfriend at the time to meet her family, and we had this nice meal down by the river there, and I thought nothing of it. And the next day I woke up and I was covered in what I realised that shortly afterwards were mosquito bites. But oh my god, for about 4 seconds I thought I was coming out in warts everywhere. And I don't think you can catch warts that way. I had a few drinks, but I remember screaming in the bathroom because my whole back and all my neck was there. But I'd been bitten to buggery by mosquitoes. I'm lucky I didn't get dengue or something like that because it was awful. Everywhere. I was literally covered in them. And I hadn't noticed. It was just sitting by this river in Bangkok. Never will go with that restaurant again. They've never had a problem since then. Which is one of the weird things that I've never understood about Thailand. Because when I first got there, I got bitten quite a bit. But then after a while, I stopped getting bitten. Now, I put that down to the food that you eat. Because I've read things before. There's certain spices and certain things like that mosquitoes don't like. So I'm thinking, because they have a lot of garlic in the food over there and a lot of chilies and things. I think, well, it's because what I'm eating is stopping them from biting me. Because after a while, they never really bothered me. But then I would leave the country and come back and arrive in Thailand and never get bitten. So you think, well, that can't be because of the food, because I've not been eating the food, because the first time I went back there, I thought I'm going to get bitten now because I've been out of the country for a month and I've not been eating. And I wasn't. So I think I do. I know I've got it's just anecdotal evidence. I have no empirical evidence. But I'm sure you build up an immunity or something happens, or there's something happens in your body that mosquitoes don't find you desirable anymore. Because I very, very rarely get bitten by mosquitoes these days. But when I used to go on holiday in the early days, I get bitten quite a lot. I'd like your views on that. Has anyone had the same experience? Scott Ben, great show. Well done. Thank you very much. If you're talking to me, thank you very much. Do appreciate it. Smash the like button if you haven't done already. I don't know why it's a good show. All I do is sit here and talk nonsense. But if you're enjoying it, I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. Closing the loop, just reacted his message. I always wonder what they say when the message is retracted. Glenn, crickets rule, LOL. Yeah, I don't mind crickets. We have, what do they call them over here? Cicadas. They can get damn noisy at times. But I haven't had any for a while. And they have like weird periods, like earlier on, about 6 o'clock, they were deafening. And I thought that's going to affect the live stream. But now they can't hear anything. There are certain times in the afternoon when I walk down there to vlog in the past. And guys, deafening, they're everywhere. But after a couple of days, they'll just disappear. Strange. But we've only ever had a couple in the house. And they're not too bad. Don't mind picking them and putting them out. They're not like roaches. They're like, they've got like little wings and things. They're all right. Don't mind cicadas. But they very rarely come in the house. Closing the loop. Hi from Australia. G'day, sport. How you doing? That was a terrible Australian accent, wasn't Plant a finger. Rye for Kick started off as a £300 guy. Good food and walking slimmed him down. Yeah, that was a story, wasn't it? Yeah, he said that. He showed pictures of how big he was when he first arrived and in the past and how much better it'd been for him. But as I say, I've not watched him for a while. I will message him because I used to like his channel. But I haven't gone off the channel. I just don't have much time for watching vlogs these days. People keep asking me, do you watch this? If I was watching all of them, my God, it'd be a full-time job. But I did notice he stopped. Because he went for a stage when he was showing around apartments and he was just talking about his life. That was interesting. But the last couple of months when I was watching him, he was just doing restaurants. I think he must be getting a few quid for the restaurants because he was always going here, trying this, trying that, and, you know, going to open nights and things. And if he is, good luck to him, you know what I mean? But his channel did change noticeably because Rise for Kicks, you can tell originally it was going to be about bikes and driving around. But the last few months when I used to watch his channel regularly, there wasn't much motorbike riding going on. The channel evolved, shall we say. Scott Len, the Loop New Zealand, getting expensive rip-off. Adam Fenton. I had a house in Southeast Asia. If I had a house in Southeast Asia, I would buy an outdoor electric zapper and have it running every night. Nothing worse than being bothered by mosquitoes when outdoors. Yeah, I can think of a few worse things, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean, mate. Scott, do you get a possum in the Philippines? No, I don't think so. I think they're quite they're only native to a couple of places, aren't they? I mean, I might be wrong. I've never seen one, but I don't think you do get a possum in the Philippines. Then cicadas in northeast and in northeast USA return every 70 years. They're almost deafening. Yeah, I know they must be different here. Because I know that's what they do. They go underground and then they come up, don't they, for one day and they're like just die in mass. They live for like 24 hours, don't they? Yeah, I don't know if it's the same here because maybe it is. Maybe I don't know. But it's unusual because you'll seem to hear them in different places. It was like here they were very active for like an hour about 6:30. I'm pretty sure they've moved somewhere else because one day you'll walk down there and it'll be deafening. And then you won't hear them for like a few more weeks, and they'll come back, or then you'll hear them over there. I don't know. I'll have to Google it. Do they have the same kind of? Maybe they're just all coming up that day in that area, and they're coming. I don't have no idea. Ryan Bentley, bit off topic. I've got a passive income that would easily support me to retire now in Asia, but I feel guilty leaving my work. My boss is putting the guilt trip on me. What should I do? I'll be back. I'll be back in 1 second. I can't smoke anymore. I'm just going to grab one of my. Because I've got 3 left. I'm just going to grab one of my. As you know, I'm not. I've got them here. I cannot. I was saving them for later on. I cannot abide this smoke coming out of my mouth when I'm talking. It looks disgusting. Well, you got to do what you think's right, mate. You got to do what you think's right. I mean, don't ever be guilted into anything. I mean, if someone puts pressure on you and you think about it and you reflect, and you don't think you should do it for the right reasons. I mean, if you think that your boss has been really good to you and you owe him something and you think that you do, then maybe you shouldn't. But don't just let him guilt you into it. I mean, that would be awful. I mean, if he's got your... I mean, I had a situation many moons ago when I got stuck in the UK for COVID. I ended up caring for this guy. And him and his wife. It was a cushy little number. A friend put me onto it, and I was looking after them. And the wife got cancer, and she died. And he didn't respond to that very well. And he developed dementia, and I decided not to leave because until he passed away, because I didn't think it would be the right thing to do. They've been really good to me during COVID, and you know, but there was no pressure put on me. I mean, his family said, like, you know, we would love it if you would stay a bit longer once the borders opened, but they weren't pressuring me. They just said, like, you know, Dad's very fond of you, and you know, with Mother dying and that, you know, it just didn't feel right for me to go. So there are situations like when you feel you owe someone something, when you know, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I had just left him like that, you know, after his wife had died. But that was just my decision. Doesn't make me a great person, anything like that. So I mean, I don't know. It depends if you feel you owe your boss, you know, something, then maybe I don't know, mate. It sounds a bit strange. If he's guilting you into it, then I wouldn't listen to him. I just do, but I don't know enough about the situation. You've got to do whatever you think is right, mate. Glenn, Ryan, look after number one, in my honest opinion. Good advice, Glenn. Now you've said that number one, I'm thinking of the prisoner. I am not a number. I am a free man. I am number 6. Anyone remember the prisoner? You must remember the prisoner, Glenn. Ryan Bentley, live for yourself. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. That is very true. Nothing is guaranteed at the moment, the way the world's going. Bloody hell. World War III is upon us very shortly. I don't know what that's going to do to me in the Philippines. Closing the loop. I think cicadas are like that. They wake up and go on a root fest for a few days, then die. Could well be. Could well be. That's probably what it is. They're there for like, I don't think they last more than 24 hours, the American ones that Glenn was talking about. But that may be what it is. Maybe they all come up in that particular area because they all went down, or the eggs were laid at the same time, and they have their like orgies for a couple of days, and that's where they go. And maybe it's a different lot over there, but it's they can be noisy. Scott Green, Ryan, save more money about a year, then leave, enjoy your life. I mean, the other thing as well depends how happy you are in your job, mate. I mean, if you are unhappy in it, then you should go now. If you're not unhappy and you feel a bit guilty about leaving, and you can accumulate more, you can never have too much money, you can accumulate more wealth for your travels, then it's possibly good advice that Scott Green. It depends what you're doing in your life, mate. As others have said, you never know what is going to come to our. You never know what the future holds. So if you're unhappy, don't be. Make a change. If you're okay and you've got, age to look forward to, then, maybe stay where you are. But it's a decision that only you can make. But don't do anything just because you feel, because someone's trying to make you feel guilty. The plaster finger, learning Tagalog. Always remember, I eat manok, lanok eats me. Glenn, yep. I remember the prisoner. Coincidentally, binged it recently. Did you? I want information. You won't get it. By hook or by crook, we will. I used to love the prisoner. Don't know why. I popped the prisoner question in a quiz a few months back, and no one had ever heard of it. There you go. No, great series. Patrick McGowan. I wonder if it's only me and you, Glenn, that know that. If Jim's still there, I don't know if Jim's still there. But does he? Are you there, Jim? Have you left us? Do you remember the prisoner? You're very quiet, Jim, if you are there. You kind of watch, which is fine. Well, the chat is drying up. Maybe it is time for me. Trevor Harvey, hello from Tokyo. Hi, Trevor. I was about to go. I can't go. You just arrived. Do you remember the prisoner, Trevor? Scott Ginn, love the fruit in Asia and cheap. It's not cheap in the Philippines, mate. The fruit is surprisingly expensive here. It's very cheap in Thailand. No idea why it's so expensive over here. But it is, a lot of the fruit here is double the prices in the UK. Explain that to me. I don't get it. Trevor Harvey, yes, there you go. So he remembers the prisoner, Glenn. At least 3 of us remember it. Great series. I think you can go to the village. I think you can go to. I think it's a holiday resort now in Wales somewhere. Ryan Bentley, cheers guys. Money's no issue. Been swimming in it. Just been dreaming of following my dreams, not building someone else's. Well, there you go. Enjoy your swimming. Trevor Harvey, late night TV, wasn't it? Yeah, it was late night TV. Well, I don't know if it was late night TV at the time. When I watched it, it was late night TV, but I was born in 71, so I'm assuming they were reruns. Yeah, it was on late night, but I don't know if it was prime time when it first came out. But it's there's certain series that are timeless, and there are certain series that don't age very well, and that's one of those ones which was just great because it hadn't aged. I mean, it was so, I don't know what the period was, late 60s or whatever. It's just so, it just blows your mind that, because it's a bit like Lost in Space in the sense you watch and think, wow, It's like it's you would never make a TV series like The Prisoner these days. Trevor Harvey, fruit very cheap in England. I hear fruit's very expensive in Japan, isn't it? Imported from East Europe, isn't it? What's important? What the fruit in the Philippines from East Europe? I don't know where we talk about it. But England food compared to here is very cheap. Supermarkets now. Bananas are cheaper in England, in Tesco's or whatever than they are over here. And why? They've got banana trees here. They're growing in the things. How the hell can they be more expensive than they are in the UK? Plaster finger number 6. I was at the 21 birthday party in Port Mirren. I was working in Butlins, Pelelli. Really? Wow. I would have liked to have gone to that. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I would like to have gone to that. Always been a fan of The Prisoner. I don't think they made many series, did they? But wow. So Port Mirren, is it really like? I mean, I know they filmed it, but because you can stay there, can't you? I think you can stay in like number 6's. Well, I'm not a number. I'm a free man. You could stay in like the different apartments and that hotels now. Great. Scott Geen. I like Chang beer. Yummy. I like Chang. If I'm over there, I drink Chang. Trouble with Chang is it does give you a give you a hangover, a headache next day. And very few drinks do that to me. But I'd much rather drink Chang than Leo. Not a fan of Leo, particularly not with ice in it. Singer, I think, is probably the best one. But it was hard to get. Well, there was only a couple of places that you could get Singer, but nearly everywhere else you went to either had Chang or Leo, and I was always Chang. Not a fan of Leo at all. It doesn't really taste of anything. Because Philippines cannot store it in bad refrigeration. Nicholas, good afternoon, geezer. Watching from sunny Wiltshire countryside. Well, good for you, mate. And you've got a heat wave coming here, haven't you? I was watching one of my West Ham things the other day, one of my vlogs I watch over there, and he was saying there's a heat wave coming. It was a lovely day. Paul Moy, skin tax. No, it's not skin tax, mate, because it's in the supermarkets now over there, which are like Filipinos go. And like Ellen will come back with like mangoes and things. When she's been shopping, she's Filipino. I say, how much were those? Tell me the price. And I'm, Jesus Christ, why were they so expensive? Like grapes here are bloody expensive. So it's not skin tax. So it's like, you go in, when we go to LP Hyper, when you get the fruit, it's a supermarket. It's not, no, the price is marked on it. It's stickered. A Plaster Fingered worked at Butlins, Barry Island as a student. Did you work Majestics? You worked at Majestics, did you, Glenn? I think you told me the other day. I worked at Barry Island, but I worked on the pleasure park. That was my first job. I went there at 17. It wasn't my first job. I worked for Tesco's in London, but I went away with a mate of mine, and we worked on Barry Island Pleasure Park for the summer. And then when the summer ended, we went on the fairs, and it travelled round. I was great 6 months there. But never worked at Majestics, because I don't think it was it Butlins when we were there? I think it was a Butlins at one stage, but I think someone else had taken it over by that stage. But anyway, I know what you mean, Majestics. Plastered finger, I'm not a number. I'm not a number, I'm a free man. That's it. Adam Fonte, going to get ready to call my fam. Glad to see the stream tonight. Have a good week, Simon. You too, brother. Enjoy Siem Reap, mate. Get yourself out and about and doing things. Live the best life you can, mate. Thanks for watching. Ryan Bennett. Oh, my Leo. Love my Leo. Then off to the 100 Pipers. 100 Pipers. God, I remember that. Yeah. I drank that when I first moved up to the mountains, but I developed a real taste for Hong Tong. The white rum. I like Hong Tong and soda. That's what I would drink up there. I mean, mainly beer, but if I was getting spirits, because sometimes we get like spirits and drink them around the thingy. I could never get into old locale. Don't get me wrong, I drank it from time to time, but I mean, I think the only reason anyone drinks that. What was the because it's weird. Up in Petrobum, they drank the Hong Tong. But they didn't like it down when I was living in Bury, and they drink, what do they call it? what was that whiskey called? I'm going to make a fool of myself now. Song Sam. No, it was Song Sam, wasn't it? Anyway, there was a brown drink down there. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, 100 pipers. And it's Blend 52 or something. It was another one that they drink there. Bruce Davis, hi, speaking of Asia. Hi, Bruce Davis. Thanks for joining us. Trevor Harvey. Some fruit expensive in Japan because of protection. See, I watched a thing many years ago. They were saying how expensive the fruit was there. And I always thought it was because of the size of the island, because of the weather and that. But they were saying it's like down to the old Bushido. You know, it's like a thing that if you grow the perfect fruit, that you should be rewarded for growing it because a lot of effort's gone into it and all that kind of thing. Whether that's true or not, but they were saying that as why, you know, because they make an effort to grow the fruit perfectly, the price reflects that. I don't know. But I know you can pay like, you know, like £20 for like a watermelon and stuff like that in certain places. Maybe it wasn't a watermelon. It was ridiculously expensive, most expensive fruit I'd ever seen on this documentary. Nicholas, yep, getting close to heat wave. It's 28 degrees here today. That well, that's hot for the UK. It is not hot for the Philippines. We are hotter than that here. I think we average about 31 here. I think I don't really look at the weather, but I think it goes between about 29 and 32 here most of the time. But for the UK, that would be hot. Yeah. Plaster Finger, I was in a petrol station on pump 6, asked by the cashier what number. My reply was, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. One guy, 3 back, laughed. Everyone else looked at us like we were mad. Yeah, people wouldn't get it. Certain age people wouldn't get it, would they? God, I'm feeling old now. But yeah, no, if I say that to, I got, like I said before, my closest friends in the UK, the guys I like see when I go back, they're well, they're getting older now, but they're around the 40 mark. If I start talking about the prisoners of Lent, number 6, they wouldn't have a clue what I was talking about. Glenn, it was Butlins when I was there, late 70s. Did a Christmas there, great time. Yeah, it might have been Butlins when I was there, but I don't think it was. I think someone else had bought it. I think it was an independent one then. But I knew a lot of the staff that worked over there. But I never went in there myself. The Plaza Finger, number 6 is the shop. Most other places are actually apartments. Is that right? I suppose that'd be a good place to make it. But you can stay there, can't you, as a hotel? I mean, it's like a hotel place, isn't it now? Or is it like more a museum? Trevor Harvey, bananas very cheap, but melons very expensive. You say, well, it probably was melons then that I'd seen that thing on. It was ridiculous. It was either a melon or a pineapple. It was like £22 or something ridiculous like that. But they were saying how the time had gone into growing it or whatever. Glenn, can't pick wild bananas there. Pick wild bananas where? Here? Oh, I'm not bothered about picking them up. I mean, buy them. I mean, I don't know where there are any. I mean, when I say it's expensive, I mean, it's not like, you know, going to break the bank. I'm just saying it surprises you, because things like that in Thailand are incredibly cheap. The village we lived in, you'd always get people selling stuff outside their houses, you know, like bananas and melons and things. You'd pick them up for peanuts, like, you know, big thing of bananas, pop them in your shoulder, drive them back in the bike. Might cost you a couple of pounds. Here, probably wouldn't even cost you a couple of pounds. I can't remember. We're going back a few years now. Trevor Harvey, cherries are a luxury product. Melon is expensive. £50 watermelon cheap. So it was a watermelon. Yeah, blew my mind. Yeah. Strange. Trevor Harvey, wasn't it called Prisoner Cell Block H? No, you're talking about something completely different. Prisoner Cell Block H was an Australian thing. He used to bring me roses. I wish he could again. With B. Smith and no, completely different. Prisoner we're talking about was like a 1960s fantasy action thriller thing with Patrick McGowan as a number. He was stolen, kidnapped. He'd worked for the government. He resigned, and they'd kidnapped him and taken him to this place called the Island, which had this big blue balloon which stopped you from escaping. And they were interrogating him. They were trying to find out, you know, I don't know what they were trying to find out. You never found out. It was one of those things. It never came to an end what they were looking for. But no, completely different. No, not Prisoner Cell Block H. God, that was awful TV series. Plaster Finger, Trevor. Ha ha ha. No, yeah, completely different. The Prisoner and Prisoner Cell Block H are completely different, Trevor. Scott Geen, Simon, have you been to South America? No, I haven't. I haven't really travelled there at all. I've been to Mexico a couple of times, a few times. I think I've been to Mexico 3 times. I've been to the States a hell of a lot, but I've never been to South America. I've always thought about going to Latin America. It was a 50-50. When I decided to leave Thailand, it was 50-50 whether I came to the Philippines or Colombia. I still may end up in Colombia one day. Who knows? But no, never been to Latin America. Yippee Bariah has sent a green creature. Yippee Bariah waving. Hello, Yippee Bariah. Or Lippy. God, I can't. If Ellen was here, she'd be laughing at me. Yipma Bariah. Trevor Harvey in Subic cannot get coconuts in supermarket. Why? In Subic? No idea why, mate. It's like you've got 2 supermarkets or 3 supermarkets in Gimmickety. You've got the supermarket in City Mall. You've got the Robinsons in the Robinsons Mall, and you've got LB Hypermarket. And the fruit is lousy in like a very poor selection in City Mall, a very poor selection in Robinsons, and a far better selection in LB Hyper. But it is nothing compared to like a Tesco's or a Asda or whatever you go to in the UK. I mean, they've got like one aisle, whereas you're going to go in a Western one, you've got like 3 or 4 like aisles packed with fruit and vegetables. Strange place for that. Trevor Harvey, why are tomatoes so bad? Can't get my head around it. If I was to plant tomatoes here, they would spring up, I'm sure. We'd have no problem at all. They'd be cheap. Mind you, tomatoes are cheap at the moment, actually. It must be a seasonal thing here, which is strange because you wouldn't think they have seasons. But you can actually, at the moment in LP Iber, you can get like 6 tomatoes for, I don't know, 30 pesos or something, which is not too bad. That's probably cheaper in the UK, actually. But there was a time when we went down to the market and tomatoes were like ridiculously expensive. Avocados are in now. Avocados are coming in season, so they're cheap. I said to Ellen the other day, she said, you messaged me and said they got avocados. I said, get some. And she said, okay. And she came back, she said, didn't get any. I said, why? She said, because it was 100 pesos a kilo. And I'm like, that's not expensive. That's like, less than £2. You get like 4 or 5 big avocados. I mean, a lot cheaper. In UK, it probably costs, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80 pence a thing. So, but he said, no, wait another couple of weeks and they'll be like, half the price. Oh, yeah, but I want an avocado now. I've got my chips ready to make a guacamole. But there you go. So, Filipino, concept of cheap is not the same as our concept, or expensive is not the same as our expensive. Barry Island went from Butlins to Majestics in 1987, worked for both, but also was a showman too. Well, there you go, because that's when I was there. I went there I joined the Air Force in 90, so I would have been there in 89, June 90, yeah. So I'd have been there in 89, that's when I was there. Yeah, I didn't think it was Butlins when I was there. Trevor Harvey, never seen good cauliflower or peaches. Yeah, have I seen a cauliflower over here? I think they do have them sometimes in the supermarkets, but tend to eat more Filipino vegetables, which Ellen does love in a bit of coconut milk, but they tend to be, because we get these packs in the supermarket where they're like, already cut up, and you've got like squash in there, slices of squash, bits of aubergine, bits of green bean, that kind of thing. Fry them up, some garlic, pour the coconut milk on, add a bit of chili. I love that. Is the Philippines safe to visit? It's safe in terms of crime and that. Can be a bit dangerous driving over here, but touch wood, I'm used to that now. But yeah, safe place, mate. It's a safe place. But it depends on the definition of safe. I did a video on that once. In terms of crime, yeah, 100%. Never felt in danger here. But if you get sick or have an accident, you've got to worry about the healthcare here, and the roads can be dodgy. A hell of a lot of people here cannot drive, and a lot of drunk driving going on. So, in that sense, it's not particularly safe. But in terms of crime, it's incredibly safe. Never felt in danger in Asia. Only place I've ever felt in danger was Mexico. Did not like Tijuana. They kill you for sixpence over there. But never felt threatened in Cambodia, never felt threatened in Thailand, never felt threatened in the Philippines, apart from when he tried to do me in over there. And I did have a couple of scraps with neighbours when I was up in the mountains, but no, never. Anyway, that's a different story. Trevor Harvey, I think computers, phones, clothes and kids' toys are much cheaper in Japan. Probably are. They probably are. I think electrical things here are cheaper, but the trouble is it's very hard to get decent stuff. I've got to get a new laptop at some stage. I was looking at laptops the other day, and some of them are quite. See, if I was back in the UK, I'd get one. I could get one a lot better because I've got a couple of friends who, one of them took over my business. So last laptop I got, I did it through there. He claimed the VAT back, so I didn't have to pay VAT for it. He bought it through the company for me. So I'll do that again. Not strictly legal, but saves a lot when you're not paying the VAT on a laptop. But over here, I was looking at some. They looked all right, but when you look at the reviews when you come back here, they're all models that have been discontinued in the UK and America like a couple of years ago. I don't. So that seems to be the thing. They're like, got a right process and that, but they're all models that they've stopped making. So they must have sent the old surplus stock to the Philippines. When your phones are quite cheap here, I've had to buy 2 phones, and they've when I bought them, because a lot of people will tell you electronic goods are expensive over there. They're usually American channels. Maybe they're cheaper in America, but when I bought, each time I've had to buy a phone, I've come back after I bought it and I've done the research, vlogged, and it's always been like about £20-30 cheaper than it would be in the UK. Glenn, 100 pesos for 1 avocado, for 1 kilogram of avocado. I know it's dirt cheap, mate. Glenn, it is dirt cheap. As I said, why don't you get them? She reckons it'll be 50 pesos in a week or so when the season really hits. But yeah, I know I said to her I'd have got them. Yeah, because you can only get avocados for a certain period of time. It was like a month when you can get them, and then you can't get them again. So yeah, I took 100 pesos for 1 kilogram is dirt cheap. Trevor Harvey, used cars are also very expensive, say 10 years old. Well, that's something I think in any Asian country. I'm surprised that's like that in Japan, but it's like that in Thailand. It's like that here. You buy a brand new car for like £12,000. You'll sell it for £11,000. Like, in 18 months, they just hold their value. It's because I suppose £1,000 means a lot. Someone hasn't got money, so they will just buy it because they can afford it. But I'm surprised that they're, because you get a lot of the cars over here, those little Suzuki vans and that, they cut them in half in Japan and send them over here, and they reassemble them because there's a huge import tax bringing them into the country. But if you cut them in half, then you can sell them as parts. So that's what a lot of the cars here come from Japan, and they're reassembled. Because I thought cars were cheap over here, and that's why they were in Japan. That's why I send them over. But obviously not. If you're saying they're expensive, there you go. You learn something new. Also, Chiang Rai is boring. Well, depends what you're looking for. But I heard Chiang Rai. I mean, I've not been there for a long time, but I've been told that, or I've seen vlogs in that saying that Chiang Rai is picking up. A lot of people are moving from Chiang Mai to Chiang Rai because Chiang Rai is getting a bit too touristy, and the nightlife was expanding in Chiang Rai. But I don't know, just what I heard. All second goods are expensive. Trevor Harvey in the Philippines. Okay, you're talking about the Philippines. Yeah, second-hand goods, second-hand cars now are expensive here. Anything second-hand is expensive. It doesn't lose any value at all, for the reasons I think I just said. Glenn, phones are much cheaper in USA versus UK. Well, that explains it. I thought at the time when I'd seen these American guys complaining about the price, I'm thinking I just thought stuff here was really expensive, but I had to buy both these phones. Are emergency purchases. I had no choice, but I found out then. I think a lot of electrical stuff here is the same price or cheaper in the UK, but if it's cheaper in America, won't be at the moment with the tariffs, though, will it? But that explains why these American vloggers will complain about the price. Japan used cars have no value after 5 years. Well, there you go. That's why they cut them up and send them over here then. That's what I thought. You have confirmed my suspicions, Trevor. Right, we are approaching the 2-hour mark now, guys, so I'm going to knock it on the head shortly. Glenn, Japan is different steering wheel side for the Philippines. Don't know. I've never bought one of these cars. I don't think I would. Don't want one of those little Suzuki things. No idea. don't know. Trevor will be able to answer you that. Trevor, yes, I agree. English phones are expensive compared to Japan. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that, because I mean, a lot of the technology is made in Japan, isn't it? Well, I don't suppose it is, because most of your mobile phones are Samsung. They're Korean, aren't they? But there you go. Ryan Bentley, what car would you get in the future? Me, I don't know when it comes to it. I don't know. I think I just get a car, because a lot of people here drive around these 4x4s. I don't really see the point. I wouldn't get one of those big things. I don't know. I'd get a local, like one they make over here, an MG, Suzuki. I don't know. I'm not really in the cars. I'd have to look into it. I'd have to look into it closer to the time. Scott again, thank you for a great show, Simon. Thank you, Simon, for a great show. Thank you very much, mate. Thanks for joining us. It's nice that you did. The more the merrier. Welcome to the fold. I say welcome. You've been here before, haven't you? Bruce Davis. So about 4 months ago, I bought a phone in the Philippines that cost $70. What was the make? What was the make? I know the Oppos, and there's a lot of phones I'd never heard of over here. Like I've got a Realme and I've got an Oppo, and they both done me all right. I think I will probably get an iPhone next if I get another one, because I don't like Apple products at all. I really don't. But Ellen got an iPhone about 6 months ago, and the camera is infinitely better than the Realme. I only bought that bloody Realme because I wanted a phone which had the image stabilization, because the Oppo I had to get that because I got locked out in the other phone. And I said to the girl I wanted a phone I could have for vlogging, and she said the phone on the Oppo was great. The camera shot, but it's not. I couldn't. It's like wobbling up the town. It's got no image stabilization. So I went to the supermarket, to the Robinsons, and I asked a few places if they had any phones with image stabilization. And the only one they had was that Realme, and the guy was telling me how great it was. Bloody awful. Overheats after a few minutes if you've got the image stabilization. And when I go in restaurants and that now, I'm vlogging it, like keep zooming in and out. Ellen's is fantastic. Camera on there is amazing. So I'll probably end up getting one next time. Glenn, thanks. Have a great week. You too, Glenn, mate. Yeah, thanks, Glenn. I'm sorry Jim's gone. I should have spoken to him more. He didn't say goodbye. Yeah, cheers, Glenn, mate. Be lucky. Trevor Harvey, Google Pixel is the best. Never going back. Yeah, I would. I had heard good things about them, but I don't really want to spend that kind of money because I wouldn't use it enough. You know what I mean? It's like the phones. I'm not really a phone guy, so I know they're supposed to be good, but they're like £700-800, aren't they? And I've never seen one for sale over here. What I liked about Ellen's, it was only 30,000 pesos. So what's that? About £300, 400. No, about £400, £425. Oh, I'm tired. My maths is awful. But Google Pixel is better. Google better than Apple. Maybe. But as I say, I've not seen a Google for sale over here. I'll have to do some reviews, but they've got a lot of the Realme phones over here, a lot of iPhones, a lot of them. I don't think I've seen a Google phone. But I had heard the Pixels were good, but they've got incredibly expensive. And I mean, when they first came out, they were like about £400 or £500, and now I've seen some like that, and they like £1,200, £1,300, £1,400. Trevor, about £1,000. There you go. You said, yeah. I thought they got expensive. Yeah, I'm not spending £1,000 on one of those just for the camera. I'd be better off getting a DJ Osmond Pocket 3 or something like that, because I mean they do incredible things. Right, anyway, we're at the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to knock off now. We only got 22 likes. That is disappointing. So many people watched, but if they don't like the show, they don't like the show. But I have enjoyed it. It has been emotional. Always enjoy the chats. Hopefully catch you on the next one. And Ellen's phone, C8 460. Yeah, that'll probably be all right. I was trying to work out in my head, because you get 20,000 out of the bank here. That's about £275. You get 100 out, it's 130. So yeah, well, you're right, Glenn. Trevor Harvey, I liked. Thank you, Trevor. I'm glad you liked. I thought I might get. Oh, I've got the like. The likes have started going up now. We're on 26 now. Thank you, fellas. I don't like to ask, but thank you very much. Ryan Bentley, cheers, mate. Enjoyed the chat. Glad you enjoyed it, mate. Bruce Davies, okay, thank you. No, thank you all, fellas. Always amazing me to join. I'm always very grateful that you did. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, be lucky, and hopefully catch you on the next show, which is same time every week, 7 o'clock Tuesdays, 7 o'clock Filipino time. So I've just answered your question, Scott. Catch you here next Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Thanks, everyone. Be lucky.